lunchtime, and I got Genshin. Alright. My mic is really, really weird. I'm noticing it, like, not going as high as it used to. I've cleaned the port. I tested it without the pop filter, with the pop filter, with the mic cover, without the mic cover, and stuff like that. I noticed it on the VOD as well. What Forrest was mentioning, because he was the one that pointed it out. So let me know if it's still happening. I'm noticing my levels aren't going to where it used to. One of the things I do know I want to do, though. The music volume's only at 4?
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon? Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in!
The same.
Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon?
And then I have this at a 6. And that's about the same. When I was watching the VOD yesterday, it sounded very loud, the game. My voice might also be part of the problem. I'm not gonna deny that. It's still like yesterday. I don't know what's wrong, and I'm gonna be pissed if my mic is breaking. All I know is I did a stupid Windows update, and now my shit is broken. Alright, let me let me test something. You're just gonna hear a little clack on the mic. Okay, now I gotta move it like this. Mic is not made to do that. Did that fix anything? It might be worse. I can barely hear you. All right. Now I don't have the pop filter. Can you hear me? Like I said, my voice might also be part of the problem, but there's only like one other thing I can think of doing. It's the same, okay. So I'm gonna take a guess that it is the microphone. All right, give me like 1 second. There's only one thing I didn't do. Bring this back up to make sure. That's gonna still say my microphone. Although I might have to reload OBS. Every time I unplugged the microphone, I had to reload OBS. Only mute output. That's the way it's supposed to be. What about now? No, that's not going. No. Okay. I don't know if that's going to do anything. Let me bring up my chat. Grab my headset and use it for his test. Okay. Give me a sec. Okay, it's picking up your microphone, or is it picking up the other one? I think it's picking up the other one. Hang on.
Okay. Okay, now I have it plugged into the controller with your headset. The volume is really low here in comparison to the PC. Oops. So it is my mic. Well, that pisses me off. That absolutely pisses me off. The game is louder for you now? The game is way softer in the headset. Do you need me to turn down the music or anything? Or the master volume? Master to 2? I can't hear anything. All right, let's have it at 3, see if I can hear anything. Oh shit, you're gonna hear it through the PC now. Hold up. Um, that's really weird because I was hearing it through the PC speakers. That's muted, or that should be muted. Output capture. Display capture is through my primary monitor, which should have been my headphones. Okay, I'm hearing the game through my speakers, not the headset. That's why it's muffled to me. So how do I fix this? Or is this where I need to actually do this? Nope. Nope, that's not how we're gonna do that. That's... Alright, let me move the desktop while I try to figure this out, because I wanted to transfer the sound to the headset, or the controller, but I don't know how to do that. Maybe I just need to set my controller down and it'll do it again. No music or anything right now. Check the wheel on the side for you. Past stuff disregard. Um, hold up. Maybe I need to actually do this through the laptop. Hang on. Um, volume mixer. Let's see. Output device. It says speakers. We want the controller. Okay. Let me bring up OBS. Okay, so now it's not bringing out any volume whatsoever with the desktop. That doesn't make any sense. But we can go output capture here. Let's. Oh, wait, now I hear it through my headset. That just slowly did it. But I don't. Oh, it's very soft. I can see it starting to go on OBS. Can you hear it now? Sound great. Okay, so I am going to have to replace the microphone. That fucking sucks. I don't know what happened to it, but I guess what that does mean is I can like unplug it, like check the port again. I could actually move it to a different USB port and see what happens. But okay. Sound effect. Okay. Sound effect volume goes down. Oh, wow. Or does this just need to go down one? This might mean I need to bring down the dialogue. We'll see. Game is a little hard for me to hear right now, so it's low for you. Because it's loud in the headset. And this was the problem I was having when I did that little weird flippy do. There's an awful sound in my office at the moment. Uh-oh. Okay. We'll play around with the volume settings a little more on the second account, since that's where we're going to be doing more of the Archon quest for Fontaine. And we'll just leave it as it is right now. Oops, I was going to go see Mr. Boots. I don't need to see Mr. Boots. I need to condense my resin. Turn down the headset on the side. Which side? Oh. Oh my god, that's so much better. Now, remote play, you behave. I won't put up with your bullshit. I mean, if necessary, I guess maybe trying to get a headset that's similar to yours. Like, I have my wireless one, but I remember you and Brian telling me that you guys couldn't hear me on my headset, and then that was the thing that just kept echoing too. So I'd rather not use that if I can help it. I need to grab this, not change my party.
Thank you for complete.
8 friendship on Razor. And yes, I did buy my battle pass. I actually remember to do that this time. Game is low, can probably go back up to 5 or 6. We can get a headset. That isn't a big deal. Okay. That's not new blood. There we go. All right, let's see. Sorry about the troubleshooting, y'all. I have no idea exactly what happened, but like I said, my microphone might have bit the dust. All right, that's at 5. How's that sound for the master volume? And that's at 6. 6 sounds all right to me.
This scenery is wonderful.
I can't hear anything. All right, let me move Kazuha. Let me move and we'll go fight the mecha. I gotta go over here anyway. Sounds good? Okay.
Time to go.
There was a lizard over there? I didn't know lizards could spawn over here. Oh, you know what? Before we do what I originally was going to do on the account for my resin, I should actually convert the kindling I got from the battle pass. Because I just grabbed all the kindling books instead of mix and matching like I had done, well... Oh, I'm stupid! I am stupid! I grabbed kindling just not thinking about it because I needed it for Shalonen and Seilali. I should have grabbed Guides to Gold for Sing Cho. I is a dum-dum. So yeah, I'll just convert my kindling regardless. I might not have to farm the kindling today. If that's the case, I'll just do some artifacts. I know. I just was not thinking about it. For some reason, my brain was focusing on Sitlali, even though I was going to farm her stuff today. And I was just like, yeah, I'll just do kindling instead. And the Guides to Golds won't get wasted either. I know that. Burp. Yuvi.
Another. How have you been so... Bring it. I can still. Let me try.
All right. Just still playing around with the volume. That's the only reason I'm being quiet, just to make sure it's not going to blast my eardrums out. So that was an interesting thing. That Forrest was like, yeah, just turn it down, the headset down. On my earbuds, I can't do that. So I had to stick with it being loud. So it's interesting to know that the controller basically has one volume setting. Do. And I will say, your headset, honey, is actually nice and comfortable on my ears. as opposed to just using my earbuds all the time. Which I don't mind earbuds. I'm not one of the ones that can really complain about them, as long as they're comfortable. And that sounds really strange to say and picky, but you guys might know what I'm talking about if you've ever used earbuds, or heck, even like the PlayStation, I believe, came with earbuds for the controller, and it's like the big round pieces and not like the cylindrical ones. So they don't even really fit in your ear, and they're just hard and uncomfortable because they don't have like a silicone casing or anything like that for it. Those earbuds I hate. Like, they hurt my ears to no end.
Bring it.
Jump, 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 jump. And are the earbuds in the controller? Yes. So the day that I had the audio flip, I had plugged my earbuds into the controller for that, and it was just loud. And there was no way for me to change the volume. I think outside of maybe the master volume on the computer. And the master volume in the PS5 as well. Okay. Well, that would actually be an interesting question. It should, in theory, be the PS5 I would have to change it on, because even this is just mirroring the PS5. But it could also be the master volume in the PC.
One with nature.
Settle down. The tides beckon.
I was not lined up properly. That's a lot of bubbles. So yeah, I will have to do the converting just to see how many I have and how many I need for Shalonen. So it's 16, I think, to go to Crown to level 10. And then, well, see, Lolly can't go higher. So I should be able to figure it out once I don't even. I don't know what it is about that corner lately. And for anyone curious as to, specifically with Shalonen, why I go back around the corner to climb the wall is because she snaps to the frickin' enemy every time when I do her skill. And then with Auroron, I just do it out of habit because I do it with Shalonen. Anyway, we'll continue to monitor my audio issues and stuff like that. And as I said, we'll take a look at my microphone or the port that it was in, just to see if it's dying and stuff like that. I mean, I'd be kind of mad if it is, because I believe it wasn't a super expensive mic by any means, but it was like, I think 50 or 60 when I bought it. So yeah, it wasn't like super pricey, but at the same time, it's like that's still like $50, man. And if that's the case, I only had that set up for a year. Not even joking. Because I bought that last year or the year before, so maybe 2 years. Um, for when I wanted to start doing YouTube and stuff like that. Started doing streaming, and then yeah, and now all of a sudden it doesn't want to work. Although I'd rather say the mic doesn't work than my computer. So I guess I should count my blessings on that one.
The wind knows me.
Looks like I went too far.
Oh, is that all of them, maybe? Okay. Plunk. Yeah, we'll just keep it on Ubi. I'm just gonna flip to Kazuha on the last part anyway. Okay. Can't dash up that. Alright. Hydro Slime, his one weakness.
Into the wind.
Good job, Kazuha. Oh goody, the noise sound in the office. Do I want to know what kind of sound it was? Alright. Leeway, less up. And I've been giving it a lot of thought since I watched, I believe it was the video with Dello Impact talking about Silali's teams. I'm pretty sure it was him, and I want to say it was that video, but it might have been another video I was watching of his. Talking about basically an account can be built two different ways. Horizontal and vertical. My main account is definitely a vertical investment, as shown by Nubalette. I tend to try to think about constellations and the teams and characters I use already to up them to make my life much, much easier versus the horizontal investment, which is more characters. And the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, huh, that's the great way to look at the freaking endgame. Two things I have: the Abyss, vertical, for the most part, and the Imaginarium Theater, horizontal. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, maybe I actually should be thinking horizontally for the second account. And this is just because I've been struggling so much trying to keep the verticality of it that is just not working anymore. But I also have so many adjustments I need to make in terms of artifacts and stuff like that. That's like, well, maybe I just get some other characters ascended so I have them to maybe even just do the hard mode consistently on the Imaginarium Theater to help. Well, he just murdered that guy.
Picked the wrong test subject.
So I'm gonna be looking at the account, probably off stream, and seeing if that would be the better investment to do. I'm still gonna do the artifact runs for now, just because the characters need artifacts. The fact that I kind of was like, okay, yay, I'm AR 485 and just up the world level like a dumbass, didn't help me. but that doesn't affect the domains. No, it doesn't affect the domains. But it did make it so I struggled on the outside of the domains as well. And I could barely even finish the Marachisite Hunter domain in 3 minutes. Like, it was actually taking well over or into 3 minutes for me to finish that domain. And yes, there is a vast difference between farming something older, like in Leeway or Mondstadt versus Fontaine, but I don't think that really matters. The point is that I struggled to do it. And then it's just like, okay, I have copium pieces, I have my set bonuses, it's all good. And then I just got stuck farming ley lines. And Forrest and I talked about this too. High-pitched noise, steam, and... Oh. Like a boiler room sound? I remember those sounds from when I was a kid, going downstairs to help my dad with stuff. But yeah, Forrest and I were talking about that, with like... And I'll agree with this. Do I think it's a good idea to have 2 accounts if you love the game? Yeah, I do, actually, because when your main actually gets to a point where you lack in something to do, but you want to play the game, it's a good way to just go, yeah, I can just dip around on the game still and even try new things, like Forrest playing just with 4 stars and the Traveler, because once we get those limited 5 stars, a lot of characters just get tossed to the side, because why bother? Okay. No potato. No meat and potatoes for me. Oh, nothing up there either. I'm always very surprised when I don't get something up there, because usually when I do my artifact route, there is something. Shalonen, the pole dancer. Kinda? Okay. So yeah, I understand the sounds that you're talking about. If it's a little bit of akin to what you would hear in a boiler room, with like the steam in the pipes and stuff. Okay, let's just go to Mondstadt. We'll go to Mondstadt and we'll take a look at Shalonen. How many do I have right now? I have 27. That's the gold ones. Not the gold ones, the silver ones. Hang on. I have... Okay, so that's going to take half. So I'd be left with 14. So go to 16. So it was 12, 16, and then 4 and 8? Is that what it is? I can sit. Lolly can probably tell me. Okay. So 4, 6, 12, 16. Just gonna do this a sec. There we go. I hate that my second monitor won't let me bring this up. Okay. So it was 4, 6, right? Yeah, so it'll go 4, then 6, then... Oh, is there an 8 there? So it goes 4 to 7, and then 6. I think it was then 6, right? I'm gonna say it's 6. And then 12 and 16. Okay, so you need 38 to go from level 8 to... I actually probably should know that, because I did write that down before. Where is... Yeah, And then it would be 36 to go to both. Not 36, 68, excuse me. Okay, so let's see how many I will have here. So I'm gonna leave that like that. I can now bring this back up now that my calculator's up. All right, let's just make all gold kindling. I did not want to talk to you. I wanted your bench. It doesn't matter if we use you. We're just gonna go blip, 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 blip. Thank you, Sing Show. Okay, so Shalonen. We have how many? We have 40 out of 16. So we're gonna minus 16. That leaves us 24. So yeah, I will still have to farm kindling for Sitlali regardless. See, this is what makes me actually just want to use a solvent for Shalonen just to get her out of the way so I'm not like overdoing it on the farming of stuff because I only have her and Sitlali for the whatchamacallit, the Nightline characters. But at the same time, I don't really want to waste a solvent for a fight I'm continuously doing because I have multiple characters for it. It's this one here? Yes, it is. Nope. There we go. I mean, I could put in Seat Lolly just to play around with her for Nuvolette.
Let my name echo in song. Letting brave names echo.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night. The wind knows me.
Be sanctified.
Oh, nope, that missed. All right. There you go, Nuvolette. Kill the party. What's so sad is that the PlayStation was running so smoothly yesterday with the remote play. Very minimal chugging near the end.
One with nature.
Settle down.
Oh, you bastard! You fucking bastard!
The tides beckon.
I didn't realize you went to underground. Alright, so we're going to need... what, 10 more? So... 78, I think, in total, because she doesn't have level 8 on her burst. So I just gotta probably note that down somewhere.
Shower me with praise. Time to shine. Hear the echoes of the valley.
Clouds high. The birds call into the wind.
Bow your head.
Did he slap me? Ba, 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 ba. Nah, you gotta give me some golds, please. Please.
Strike a pose. Let my name echo in song. Bring it.
Got like 2 more, I think.
The wind knows me. Fallen leaves adorn my
Settle down.
I hate those things. The more I fight them, the more I hate them. Always underground. Their hitboxes are way too long. Or wide, whatever you want to call it. For them to hit you. They're always in range to hit you.
Let the world come alive! Letting brave names echo!
into the wind.
Be sanctified.
Okay. That was the last one. That was the last one. That should be the domain that I finish as well. Yep. Oh yeah, we have the event too. Let me see something. Oh right. I forgot. You had to talk to her first. I forgot. I really don't care what you have to say. Yes, I know. I didn't realize there was a second part to that for rewards, so I'll have to double check that. So yeah, okay, this does just open up tomorrow. So let me just do this really quick. And you can't just teleport right to it. No.
Water comes in many flavors.
At
to
least
the
I killed him in
discerning
20
palate.
seconds? Yeah.
Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and complex flavor profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully appreciate it.
There's something funny about his idle dialogue going off while I'm in a Yukasort. Alright. And skill issues take on platforming. Oh, fucking fantastic. Oh my lord. Alright, fine. I'll miss the coins. I don't care. Oh, jeez. Oh, what the? Okay, this time, go to hit this thing. PlayStation. PlayStation, please. Hello, I'm in the circle. Oh, and now it's DCing me. Are you DCing me for good or what? Alright. Boing. Oh, yeah. What the? I don't know. I don't know why this is doing what it's doing. Just... We. Okay. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, does it show me what the other thing is now? That's it. That's it. Okay. Alright, let's go over here. We already talked to Catherine. I'm just going to... Okay, that's another 12 to add to the pot. Alright, so now we own 54. Alright, so we're at 38 for Tsitlali, so that's for her final two. That's actually not that bad. Where, oh where? Let's write this over here. And we said what? I believe that's actually going to be the total is 86 that I need for her. Right? Because that would be 6 and 4 is 10, if I'm right on that. So I'm going to say 86, and we'll play it by ear. No, not 6. Nyeh. It's something like that. Huh. And I'll probably, I can minimize that now. All right. All right, we got a couple wishes here. Wait, where did I get the 2? Okay. Gotta do stuff, have fun. Okay. All right, let's do our couple wishes on Sitlali, and then I'll flip to the second account, and we'll basically second verse same as the first, and then we'll continue a little bit with the Fontaine quest line. All right, where am I at in pity? Not very far. This has all been single since I got her. 25? 24. Yeah. All right, so 25. 26. All right, perp. Kachina's the only one on here I need constellations for. 27. 28. And that was my last one. Okay. All right. Got a Kachina. I'm not going to complain. Not using her exactly, but again, Imaginarium Theater is a thing, so she'll be leveled up eventually. Are you serious? That's C1? I could have sworn I got one when I was getting Lolly in the first place, but I guess I didn't. Oh well. Alright. So, that's it for this account for right now. I will be right back on the second account. And I'm back. There we go. Oh, and I am capped on resin. Let's go condense that, shall we? You know, I don't remember seeing Primos in my mains account. I don't think I hit my daily thing. I'll have to check that after stream.
Ad Astra. Thank you for complete.
Gucci. Gucci. This way we want Tosca. Level 15. Resin. You shouldn't have. Alright, we'll check this. Again, don't remember what time I did it. The mains got reset, so. Alright, get this done. Do artifact domain super fast. The event is not open for today, so I do need to go back in and do the first one, because for some reason I didn't run and hit the little monolith thing. But that doesn't reward Primos, so I won't bother doing it right now. I think it's only Mora and... I want to say it was Mora and the some talent books, but I could be wrong. Controller, could you not? Oh, come on, PlayStation. You were doing so well yesterday. Despite my audio issues, like, the stream was good for, you know, visual quality. I didn't have any... I had very rarely any hiccups until the very end. That was noticeable to me. Ba, 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 ba. I was just to the left of that, or right. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Not much. Just doing the dailies. Then gonna continue on with a story quest line. Taking the Fontaine quest line very slowly. Just finished watching the 7 Rebirth run. Oh, GDQ. Six hours seems so short for something like that.
Strike a pose.
Not too far now. Time to say hello.
Breaking news. Hold that pose. Let's fly. Locked on.
What's the story of Fontaine? A bunch of case trials. The main case that you're following at the start is the case of missing women. And it's so far right now, it's turning out that the women or people of Fontaine can dissolve into water if they are exposed to waters from the primordial sea. So right now we're investigating a man named Vache with Navia. I don't have Navia on this account, unfortunately, but no, I need Aura on. So that's the main story that's happening, and of course, our twin is actually trying to get information from the Hydro Archon on perhaps whereabouts of their sibling. And if you didn't know, this is the Hydro Archon, Furina.
Take me up.
Pew! Yeah, I love Furina's design. Very spiky. Very regal. Yeah, I like Furina's design. Funny enough, I actually shared a Facebook memory this morning, really early this morning, of the watercolor picture I did of Furina last year. I can bring that up. Hang on. Do. Go to my page, dang it. Yeah. So you guys can see it. That was the watercolor I did of Farina last year. Mainly watercolors, but then I went over it with colored pencils to try to color correct some stuff because I had just cheap watercolors. I had 2 sets I bought off of Temu. One of them was completely terrible. Because I was just trying to see what cheap art supplies I could get off of Temu.
If I allowed myself to be led
God
by the
damn it,
whispers of the
Chaska.
abyss. Surviving is tough. Taming the beast within is tough.
Yeah, shut up, Chaska. So yeah, the skin tone color down here, as you can see, it's way darker than it is up here, was because of those paints, and I tried to correct it with colored pencils. The set I did for the rest of it though, very top notch, for cheap set. Like I by no means can go, oh yeah, this was actually really good in comparison to artist quality. I can't do that because I can't afford artist quality paints. But I couldn't even tell you a name of the brand because again, it's Temu. But Walmart has something similar to it. It's a palette that actually like flips out. Think of like color swatches you would get at like Lowe's or something like that. Lowe's. Where it just like flips out. It does that, and it has like 3 or 4 different trays worth of watercolors, and then there's a blank slate palette on the bottom where you can actually mix and stuff like that. It was really good. It comes with a water brush as well. But yeah, I thought it came out really good. I really like this part here. This came out really nicely between the watercolor and the colored pencils. Oopsies. Tab. There we go. They never stop. They don't. Certain characters will yap beyond belief. Fischl is the worst. I like the effects of pencil gift. Yeah, it's actually really nice. I'm still in the process of learning a good proper balance. Oh my god, Chaska.
Let's fly.
Her gun did not come out. Yeah, I'm still in the process of learning to mix media like that, as well as actually using the watercolor. But overall, the experiences I've had with watercolor have been pretty positive, even with
Take me up.
cheap paints like I was using. So totally recommend giving it a try if you're interested in that kind of stuff. and Sabrina. Okay, remember,
Free now.
all the count. Because I keep wanting to flip to Kazuha when I'm over here.
Let's run.
You're not dead. Eh. All right, Inazuma. But that picture of Farina and the one I did of Klee is what made me actually like, hey, let's make a second account and use the gacha system as no, I need Oron. As the randomizer for what characters I would do an art piece for. And the funny thing about that, if you all know, the playlists, or whatever I call the videos for the VODs, is that I was wrong about Genshin, and that I created the second account for fun and art. Serves you right, slime. And I had been trying to plan some art stuff. Ideas change, of course. But I hadn't done any, really. As I mentioned on when I shared the memory, that was like one of the only things I drew last year. And the art pieces don't necessarily have to be drawn or painted or anything. It's whatever medium I feel like doing. For an example, I would like to try to do a little clay figurine of Nahida. Is it going to turn out immaculate? Probably not, because I'm still learning sculpting. But I just had a really cute idea I wanted to do, because I have a... I think it's about a medium-size ornament. I don't think it's the largest one I could have grabbed at Michael's, but it's one of the clear ones, one of the empty ones that you can open and do like a diorama or something inside of it. And I would love to do something for Nahida. Plus, I have some polymer clay that I got from a friend / former coworker, so I would like to be able to try to use it. I'm not sure how good it is, and all polymer clay acts differently. So, we'll see. We'll see. I have an absolute backlog of stuff I want to do. Okay, I know he said come at me, but it sounded like he said dumbass.
Open fire.
Looks like I went too far.
But yeah, I haven't done any art related things recently. Again, part of it was because everything was supposed to go to like an art YouTube channel, and I was trying to figure out how I wanted to set it up and, work on, trying to work on scripting. But at first I needed to figure out what art I was doing for the video. I wanted to do some like testing of cheap art supplies. This was mainly from like Walmart, Five Below, and the Dollar Tree. Because they're all at different price points. But on the low end. So it's not like going into Michael's and paying like, $10 for a sketchbook kind of situation. Oh yeah, you go way too high. I keep forgetting that. Oh, my frames. But in order for me to I figured out in order for me to actually figure out what I was going to do, this is primarily in the drawing medium. because I got two different sketchbooks from the Dollar Tree. Both papers feel a little similar. One feels a little bit thicker, but not by much. Hey, give me that. Mine. That's actually funny. Am I gonna go up and get the drop if it dropped? No. But I gotten like that kind of sketchbook. I got two different sketchbooks from Five Below, and when I bought them, the funny thing is, the one of them I knew was a watercolor sketchbook. I just wanted a larger watercolor one and judge it on the price tag in comparison to like the smaller one I got from Temu. Because the one that I did Farina on was also from Temu, and it was actually really good watercolor paper. My only issue with it was the first picture I did, somehow black paint got on the bottom of it, like on the bottom of the image. So it's not touching the character itself or anything like that. It just smeared on the bottom. But I don't know how, because I'm right-handed and the paint was on my left hand. So I don't know how that happened. And then what was the other thing that, oh, it like, and this was understandable because, you know, it doesn't matter if it's watercolor paper or not. Paper is going to only withstand so much water, okay? And it tore. It actually lifted the paper because it got saturated in water where that paint was. So I have absolutely no idea how that happened. But I wanted to try something, and if I wanted to do like try my hand at a landscape or something like that, I had a larger canvas to work with, and one that was ring bound, the spiral binding, which I personally like those sketchbooks a lot more than the one that have the stitched, I guess is the best term, that kind of binding. So wanted to try that, but the other one I got, with just the feeling of the paper, I was like, huh, this feels like it has more tooth to it. It feels thicker. It feels more like mixed media than the one they labeled mixed media. I was with two friends when I went and bought this. So they also felt the paper and was just like, yeah, that feels thicker. So I ultimately decided to grab that. Well, why is that relevant? Well, when I had my husband feel the paper, because again, my husband is also an artist. He has a degree in graphic design. He felt it and he was like, huh, it feels like recycled paper. Turns out he wasn't wrong. Turns out I wasn't wrong either. Because the more I felt it, the more I'm like, huh, it almost reminds me of my dry media sketchbook, not the mixed media one that I have in Jazz's Pro Sketch Pack. Yeah, if you actually bothered to read the label that was on the sketchbook, it said that it was dry media. So I laughed at that. Oh, I'm stupid. I should have just flipped to Chaska. I normally flip to Chaska up there. But and then the other one from Walmart, I actually have this was from Pen and Gear. Pen and Gear is Walmart's like stationery art brand. And I've had this sketchbook for a couple of years. And I'm not even joking. This sketchbook was like $2, I think, maybe $3 when I bought it. This is relevant because it's the same exact freaking paper that they have in the sketchbooks nowadays. But the sketchbooks themselves are now, the smaller one, which is the one I have, is now $5. And what you're paying for at this point with that sketchbook is the hardcover. You're paying for that black hardcover, and that's about it. The paper is the exact same. So, I mean, I saved myself some money for the hassle, but, you know, that'll be, you know, full TLDR. That's what it is. Same book, just different period of time when I bought it. But in other mediums that I bought, like I it was originally supposed to be like, oh, colored pencils, like stuff that I found in the Jazzers Pro sketch pack to make a sketch pack in and of itself if you wanted to, like, you know, gift an artsy person in your life a nice little neat little package of art supplies that, you know, wouldn't break the bank. Straight up. I would not sneeze at cheap paper. Yeah, it's not going to hold every medium you want, but for sketching down ideas, it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect for basically just doing ideas and whatnot. Heck, even just plain little doodles. Do you know how much scrap paper I had at my old office? From just like, okay, I don't need this anymore. I literally tore it in half and used it as scrap paper to doodle on. All right, I'm going to be right back. I just need to hit the restroom. Hey, Brian. Are they doing something to the water outside? Do you know? Because I went to flush the toilet and I didn't think anything about it until I started running the sink to wash my hands, and our water pressure is way down. We have like none. All right. All right. Let's go do our artifact run. By in artifact run, I mean the domain. We already did our artifact route. Huh? Yeah. All right, let's do this, and then we'll do a little bit of Fontaine's questline. Don't know how far we'll get, but we'll get as far as I can.
Bring it. Hear the echoes of the valley.
You're toast! Out of the frying pan, let's ride! Woohoo!
I got one more, May.
Surf's up! Oh, chill out! Let's shred, Sharky! Need a surfboard?
Oh, an attack on set. Okay. I would rather it had EM, but if that gets crit damage, okay. ER Sans, meh. So Chuska might get an upgrade, all depending.
Letting brave names echo. Let's get it on. Hi.
Hey, Booba, get them! Woohoo! Surf's up!
Before she got off the shark. Impressive. Shallonen, you're almost dead. All because of that switching lag. That definitely won't be an upgrade for Shallonen. But we do have an attack sans. No crit rate, but it has some other stuff. I'll hold on to it. I'll see what Oreron has right now. Because honestly, Oreron just needs crit rate due to Favonius.
Let the mountain's veins boil. Look alive.
You're toast! Woohoo! Catch an epic wave! Whoosh!
Awesome. Okay, good. I got Shallonen back up. That was a little bit of a risky move I took to do that. But again, I don't like how hard they hit, and it feels like they never miss. Excellent. Excellent. Oreron got his headpiece. Because again, he needs crit rate.
Bring it. Hear the echoes of the valley. Buckle up. Ha.
Eat this! Out of the frying pan, carving waves! Amazing! Ha! Oh! Ha! Ooh! Ah, watch the surfboard!
Gloves off.
Oh, dear. ER. Okay, attack sans on set. I mean, if it rolls crit rate, maybe? I will have to see what she's using right now. But again, we also got to think about the Traveler, the Pyro Traveler, if I want to use him, and Moivika, if we get her. So,
Letting brave names echo. Look alive. Hi.
Hey-ya! Nice and spicy, fast! Woohoo! Surf's up! Woohoo! Amazing! Let's shred, Sharky!
oh, you missed.
Ha!
Let's get it on. Ha.
And I think that's my last one, right? That could be a decent attack stance. And could be a decent feather. Okay. We actually got some stuff today. So let me flip back to Chaska in case I don't think there's any combat. That's my friendship team. I should know that just because Chaska's over here and not here. All right. So before we do anything, Auroron. This is why we didn't up this. We now have a crit rate headpiece that has attack on it and EM. That's actually not that bad. So if it gets ER or crit damage, golden. And it got ER. Cool. Do I have anything I can just throw into it that's kind of shitty? Yeah, that's not great. I would rather have Auroron on his crit rate headpiece. So, bum, 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 bum. I'll take it. I will take it. All right. So he now has what for crit rate? 56. Respectable. Respectable. All right. What was the other stuff that we got? We got a potential flower. You already have double crit ER, so I'm not going to worry about this one for you. Oh, I have a couple, like, okay. Wait, double crit. Is Shalonen on an offset feather? Well, what does this one have? That's double crit. This one, honestly, probably would be better for Charlotte because it has attack percent. Oh, you have double crit here? That's not going to be as good for you. That's not going to be as good. This is double crit EM. Okie dokie. And then that's the best. Honestly, that's a really good Electro. Except for it rolled into that pesky flat defense. Okay. Okay. Respect. Alright, and Shaska. You were the one that had... Okay, this has double crit on it already. It would be the exact same piece. That's funny. Nope. Oh my god, that's bad. That is terrible. So no onset for you. This has double crit. And EM. I don't think it's going to get better than that, honestly. So no need to roll that. Didn't get a flower. Funny enough, didn't get a flower. Okay, so I guess the only real upgrade we got was Auroron's headpiece, which I'm not complaining about. He can now actually reliably proc Thelonious, as opposed to what he had before. Alright, so before we get into the little bit of the Archon quest, because I have about half an hour, we have a couple wishes to pull for Malvika. So we're at 50 something now, I think. 30, 40, 50, 54. And 55. Two nice blues. Gotta love that. And unfortunately, I am trying to get Fischl out of the shop, so I'm not going to throw glitter at it. So, that's unfortunate. Alright, back to Fontaine. We need to go to Poisson? Is that over here? Totally thought that was a Saurian for a second. I've been spending too much time in Natlan. it's either in the air or it's underneath somewhere. Because I don't see it. Oh, there's Navia.
Whoa! What a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters. My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
I think I'm starting to get why you like it.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
I actually don't know if I've gotten chests down here before. I think I have, just because I've been down here. Hello, cat that looks like Mr. Boots. And not Mr. Boots. You have a nice day.
Take me up!
Yep. They might have.
I can't see or run. Thank you. Really? Really? Okay. Where's the entrance to the ship?
Meluse, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Meluse? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse, and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred Vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved?
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Maybe your father got into an argument with Jacques, but it's also possible that the third person was to blame.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the
Pathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as you're and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Maloose?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live, and the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict, but once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where Synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
Huh. That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
What is the Confrérie?
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Aw, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Leave it to me.
I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
All right. I know that really wasn't much, but I am going to halt here. I'm going to teleport back to Fontaine, just so I don't accidentally trigger anything. And we'll continue that on Monday. So we'll finish out at least this part of the investigation. I don't know if we'll go through the whole case, but we'll finish this part of the investigation before we flip to doing Natland, because we have what, a week, just over a week for the Moivica banner. And as we counted out, I believe we're now at 56, 57 pity. And even with the extra 500 from the Natlong quest here, I did do the test runs. I still want to be able to do this and Sitlali's quest. Sitlali's quest I'll blaze through off stream, since I did that on my main. I could do this one on my main as well, since I have done the Archon quest. But there's like outside of the primos, there's no real reason for me to grab this stuff because I don't have Moebica. I'm not saying that's not good to have extra mats, but I'm just saying I just want the primos out of it. But that's 120 primos there, and then 500 just for doing the Archon quests while it's relevant. And I would like to put those wishes towards Malvika. Again, if I don't get Moebica just because of lack of wishes, not it's like it's actually taking me into hard pity kind of situation, or I lose the 50-50, then I'll be putting my focus on Clarant. Because I do have stuff for her that can make her usable. Unlike Moebica. Moebica, I'm actually really surprised how little I have for her. But I mean, she would just share a claymore for a while with Dea. We do have some, not Cinder City, the other one, Obsidian Codex and stuff like that. So we do have things for her, but not necessarily great kind of situation. I'm still searching for that crit damage headpiece, man. Still looking for it. But yeah, but that's the plan going forward right now. And as I mentioned, just thinking about that vertical slash horizontal investment, I might just flip gears. I do want to have 3 solid teams. Don't get me wrong. I really do want to have 3 solid teams. But I might flip gears and start thinking more towards the Imaginarium Theater and making sure I can get all the resources from it. So making sure I have everything I need for visionary mode. In terms of like artifacts and stuff, that remains to be seen. If I have enough universal stuff to throw on people, awesome. But I just kind of want to sit back and just remember why I created the second account, which was for fun. Um, and not really think about too hard about something like the Abyss, which is the ultimate end game, especially with the way they're upping all the stuff that's in it. So, that being said, I will be just looking at team comps. For our 3 teams. Where's my profile? Because that actually shows my teams here. I think these 3 teams are very solid. If I do get Malvika, there is a chance I can do a melt comp. Well, you don't have Seatlali. That's true. I don't have Seatlali. But I could, interchange this out and put in someone like Layla to put in for cryo as for a shield if I need a shield. I can have Kaya. So do double cryo. I can put Rosaria in for double cryo. I can put in Bennett for, attack bonus. We can still use Shalonin perhaps instead of Mualani. Heck, we could even do sub DPS on Malvika and put her in place of Zhangling. I don't know how I would change up Shaska's team. I could take out Auroron and put in like Malvika. The only reason I'm not using Bennett here, because Bennett is better for Chaska, is just because Farina isn't C1, so her stacks don't ramp as much. But I would have double healer if I left Charlotte. So I don't know. That one's kind of like a murky situation. This team here is like one of Tighnari's best teams, I think. So like this isn't a terrible situation. Nahida actually has some good stuff, and Nahida can actually just go on a crit build, so she can like take the Witsith and stuff and DPS it up. Kugi is doing pretty good. She just needs to be level 90 for her healing and her elemental reaction. And that's about it. Like, there's not too much I can say about this. And Fischl got upgraded, so that team's doing pretty good. I think Moebica would just be best like slotted in places, and then we would just have a whole different team if we got Clarant. So we would do like something like Clarant, Nahida. That's probably where Farina would go, actually. I could use Xingqiu. Don't get me wrong, I could use Xingqiu. But use Farina and then have a Baiju as well. So that could actually work as a team. And then if I did use Farina down there, I could put Bennett up here with Chaska. So there's stuff that can be done and can actually work. It's just a matter of having the resources and yeah, just trying to relax with it. If you do have more than one account and stuff like that outside of challenge runs and whatnot, like try to remember why you started the second account. It's like, hey, I like playing the game, but my main account has nothing to do right now. I just want to sit back, have some fun, maybe play some characters I don't normally play. Because you've seen my main account. My main account has the 2 support units from Natlan, so it has Shalonen and it has Seatlali. Versus I have DPS characters on here, plus Shalonen. So it's been an interesting experience to play with those characters. They're not my favorite. I will say that. They're not my favorite. Specifically Moalani. I find her damage just to be a little bit sporadic. There's just something very wonky about it. Even with the other weapon. It's to me it feels wonky, but that might be her artifacts being all over the place. It could be right now I have her with the Witsith, so that's a little bit all over the place. Chaska is fun. I will say Chaska is fun. If I didn't really want Zhao and no, I'm not going to roll on the Chronicle Wish to get him. That's just dumb. Give him back his banner. I wanted Zhao for my Animo DPS, but I would not be opposed to getting Chaska on my main. I wouldn't be opposed to it. She is a lot of fun. Despite me not really liking bow characters. I don't like doing the charge shot aim thing. So Tainari's gameplay is a little not my style, but Chaska is very easy to use. So I would highly recommend getting Chaska as a DPS unit. And hopefully I can get Auroron on my main one of these days. So yeah, that's the kind of thought process I'm going through right now. I'll figure it out, and we'll figure it out together. But we'll have more Archon Quest stuff to go to. Like I said, we'll finish out at least this part of the investigation with Navia on Monday, after doing our normal reset stuff, and then we'll flip into finishing out Natlan just to get those primos, and we'll see where we're at on the banners. But have a wonderful weekend, everyone. I do also apologize for the audio quality from yesterday's stream and the beginning of this one. I had no idea that and I was hoping it wasn't my microphone being dumb. But apparently it was, because apparently Forrest's headset is working just fine. So I probably will be getting a new headset, microphone, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully I won't have this problem again. But we'll check the port it's plugged into and all that fun stuff. 'Tis the life of a content creator, I guess. Scuff. Always scuff. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. I'll see you all on Monday. Take care.